More natty as fuck.
Natty as fuck, bro.
Exhale. Wow, bro.
You don't even lift.
You don't even lift.
Not at all.
Well, that was funny, huh? So that's my friend Katie Rutherford. I coach her for a while. She's jacked as hell, strong as hell. If you don't follow her on Instagram, you should. Katie Ann 100. You should also check out her Facebook athlete page. She's a beast and is only 23, so she's competing at Raw Nationals next. But she's turned pro. In the IFPA for figure. Actually, she had a three-week run last year that was pretty insane. She won an an NPC figure show, then won a powerlifting meet, and then won her natural pro card in figure in 3 weeks. Pretty crazy. So anyway, back to training here. That was the week we were having our VIP camp, and you guys saw some footage from that. In the last episode, and so it was a pretty fun time. Obviously, getting to train with Katie and some other people that were in town for the camp was pretty awesome. That was me doing 275 on there with feet up. As you guys know, my back had been bothering me a little bit. And it was getting better by this point, but I was just, I kind of wide chance it. So kept my feet up, and I find that if I'm doing feet up bench, my regular bench just doesn't suffer. So I did bench press. Katie was doing squats, and then we did some accessory work afterwards. So some blood flow restriction arm training, and as you can see, she's. So that was Paul coaxing her to say natty as fuck. So this natty as fuck is a joke that that arose because people obviously always accuse Katie of not being natural, and I get that a lot too. And Paul was talking to her one day, and he's like, "But you're natty as fuck," and so now. Our friend Jorge Rosado actually sells t-shirts that say natty as fuck, so it's pretty funny. I actually just made a post about this today on my Instagram, the day I'm recording this, showing a difference of when I started and where I am now. And I think the problem is people see the end product. Well, part of the problem is our friend Jessie Cowan. She's hilarious and great gal. She was in the gym doing some photography for us, or with us rather. So I think what happens is people see the end product, right? And they don't see the work that went into it. I know how much work I've put in, 17 years crushing it. I mean, you think if I was on a bunch of steroids, I'd have better calves, or, or I could get my bench press up, for God's sakes, I mean, if you look at, for example, the guys who are who are in the IFBB, who are my height, their stage weight is 80 pounds more than me. And if you look at the guys who are in my powerlifting division, who are in the untested federations, I mean, they're totaling over 300 pounds more than me. So now you can get. Now I think the problem becomes that people want this defined line, right? They want to be able to say, oh, there's if somebody is more than this height, more than this weight, they can't be natty. Or if somebody is more than this strength level at this body weight, they can't be natty. And the fact of the matter is, here's the deal: you're going to have people who are taking steroids who are not nearly as strong and not nearly as impressive physique-wise as some people who aren't. And then you're going to have people who take steroids, who have really super impressive physiques, and then guys who are natural who don't even look like they lift. You know, you're going to have both ends of the spectrums. But there's going to be some crossover there, okay? And, I mean, this isn't me trying to sell you on me being natural. I tend to have gotten to the point, at this point in my career, my training life, where if somebody doesn't believe me, you know, it's what, you know, you are entitled to your opinion. What bothers me is when people, you know, say, for a fact, oh, he can't be, he's not natural. I know for a fact he's not natural. No, you fucking don't know. You know, now, obviously, you know, I think people get jaded because we see, oh, just real quick training update. So that was, I was doing 455 for 2 sets of 8, and then 425 for 2 sets of 10. My squats were actually starting to feel good. My lower back was feeling good, but taking it slow, just getting some volume in. So, people, I think we get jaded because, yeah, squat. We get jaded because, and this is 525 here for sets of 7. We get jaded because we look at our favorite athletes in different sports who have failed drug tests, who swore they were drug-free, right? And that makes us really inclined to disbelieve people. And look, I get it. I get that Lance Armstrong, you know, said, you know, no, I'm drug-free. And I get that Rafael Palmeiro wagged his finger at Congress and, you know, said, don't you accuse me of being on steroids, and he was, you know. So, I mean, I get it. It gets difficult to believe people. And so if you don't want to believe me, you know, that's fine. Like, honestly, that's fine. But, again, the only thing that really bothers me is when people say, well, I know for a fact he's not natural. No, you don't, okay? Now, and there's not, and to be fair, there is nothing I can possibly do to convince that those people otherwise. There's nothing I can do. I've competed in drug-tested organizations, the strictest drug-tested organizations in bodybuilding and powerlifting. I've volunteered for random off-season drug testing. I passed random off-season drug testing. And I'm subject to random off-season drug testing also in the IPF. So, you know, everything I've done to try and demonstrate that, I have done. But again, there's not a whole lot more I can do. And so at this point, cheeky flex. So at this point, if people don't want to believe me, they can choose not to believe me.
I can't lie. Who doesn't like Taylor Swift? Come on.
So this is my Josh Hancock impersonation going to the gym.
Josh Hancock style. Singing pop
It was
music
funny, I
on
actually
the
had
gym.
this song in my head as I was getting ready to leave the house, and then sure enough it was on playing in my car. So you saw I did some more feet up bench with 295 for, I believe, sets of 8. And then next day went in and did 495 for sets of 6. And these felt pretty good, actually. It's interesting, I was dieting for something. Haven't told you guys what that is yet. I will in time, don't worry. I was dieting for something at this point, and I found that the leaner I got, the more I actually needed to adjust my head position down, as opposed to looking straight. I actually started to look slightly down. So I did those 2 sets of 6, and then my back was feeling a little bit meh, and so I finished up with 2 sets of 8 with leg press. And you know, again, just trying to be safe, just trying to, you know, keep the long-term goal in mind, keep the long-term longevity in mind. So anyway, back to our discussion about that. Like I said, I've done what I can, and if somebody doesn't believe, that's fine. But you know, people who slander and make up lies and perpetuate those lies as truth is really what bothers me. And so here was a conservative max day on bench, 370, and this went pretty well. I was pretty happy with it. My bench, even though I've been dieting, seems to have maintained very well. My apologies, I'm recording this at 10:30 at night, and just got back from the UK, and I'm pretty jet lagged. So this is obviously weeks since I actually filmed this. And here is 600. So this week I was just kind of testing out what I could do. So goal was 600 for sets of 3, I think, and actually felt pretty decent. I worked up to this and just kind of to see how my back was feeling. You know, as we discussed in the last video, it had been, you know, I had kind of tweaked it a little bit, and so this was just kind of testing the waters. And here was a conservative AMRAP. So I did 4 sets, and on the 4th set I did a conservative AMRAP. So my idea was going to be, I was going to stop 1 sure rep short of failure, and I think I probably stopped 2 reps short of failure. I got 7 on this set with 600, and it felt pretty awesome. So obviously, you know, I was pretty fired up about that. I thought about going for another one, but I was like, nope, let's be smart. So this is 525 for sets of 4. This is actually the morning of the Tampa Pro. I had to get up pretty early at like 6 to do this because I was going to support Lauren while she was competing in her first pro show. Shout out to her. She was top 15 at her first pro show, and then subsequently got better at every pro show, and we'll talk about that in some of the upcoming videos. So I actually felt pretty awful on this day. But interesting how things work out. I ended up getting 10 on the AMRAP, which ties an all-time PR. So, and I felt like I might have had another one left in me. But at 10 reps, it just kind of becomes cardio. So, anyway, sorry for that long natty versus not natty diatribe. You know, I could sit here and tell you that it never affects me. It doesn't affect me much anymore. I just understand that there's going to be certain people you're never going to convince despite whatever evidence you put out there. But, you know, every once in a while it does bother me. I think more so because there's a kind of movement of people who would have our young people believe that nobody has ever achieved a decent physique natural. And again, I'm not anti-steroid, I'm just pro-natural. So if somebody wants to take steroids, that's their business. But I'm always going to try and you know, encourage somebody to be drug-free. And you know, people told me when I got into it that it was useless and stupid, and you know, I actually ended up doing okay. So, alright guys, that's it for this week. Yes, those cardio feels. I'll catch you guys with the next update. Part 2 coming up soon. Later.